subscriber. If you guys know Visual Studio subscription, if you have Visual Studio subscription, it will have it's almost like having everything on your project settings. If let's say that you are paying Visual Studio monthly, you're paying, I think it's around $35, I guess, $35 for a Visual Studio professional subscriber, I guess. If you have the subscription, it will directly will be shown as access level as you have almost rights to everything. You have even to artifacts, rights to artifacts like artifacts are not nothing but NuGet packages in .NET. You can have your own custom NuGet packages in .NET, like in the same way in Azure DevOps is like having your custom artifacts. So these are the three access levels. One is the basic, which is free, except that you don't have access to test plans and artifacts. The second one is stakeholder, which is free, which is only read only. You can approve
What are the
releases.
artifacts?
Sorry?
What are the artifacts?
Okay. You have any idea about .NET projects?
No.
Okay. So by default, we will be getting our own extensions, right? Let's say that if I want how should I put it? Extension. Okay. In Chrome, you will be adding your own apps here, extensions, right? Like these. In Chrome, you can add your app, right? Extensions.
Yeah.
In the same way, in .NET projects, you can add your own extensions so that the code is already written. You just need to access that code. Instead of writing the whole thing from scratch, there are some things in the marketplace where you can access it. Okay, we'll see it. Okay, what I'll do is I'll show it right away. 1 minute. Let's go to this demo. See artifacts. You can see artifacts here. Able to see it, right? In this project, you have all these things. Repos are the project settings, files, etc. All these things. Pipelines are builds, releases, etc. What you get. Test plans are the test plans and what you can do on a run whenever you do a build or whenever you do a release. These test plans are run automatically, or you can manually trigger it. And these are the artifacts. See, when I click on artifacts, it will be taking me to a marketplace when I want something which I don't have it here. So now I am on the basic level, so I don't have access to artifacts. So if you want artifacts, you need to go to Visual Studio subscriber level. Okay, you can drop your own custom packages here. Okay, see, you can have your all these packages. You can have even go to this marketplace. In the marketplace, you can download those custom packages. I can't do anything here because I'm on a free version. I don't have access to artifacts and test plans also, for that matter. I have limited test plans because I'm on this other one. I'm not on stakeholder, so I have limited test plans. Okay, we'll see them later. So I hope you guys are clear on the account types, different levels, which is basic, stakeholder, and Visual Studio subscriber. Okay. Okay. Organization settings. Let's come back to organization settings. So we were here. Okay. So we were talking about. Let's finish this basics first. Come to permissions. Don't make things complicated. Just make it as simple as you can when you're giving permissions on Azure DevOps. Okay. If you can see, go by this name. This is the high level thing. It's project collection administrators. So everything under this organization, which have different projects, that this group is head of all those things. Under project you have different, sorry, under organization you have different projects. So for all these things, you have an administrator, project collection administrator. Okay, those things you can put it here. Go here, you know, add them. By default, you will have one group. Because I'm the owner of this organization, I have been added by automatically. If you want, add people. Usually, you'll be adding people who have very, higher access. Usually, admins will be doing the work. But make sure that more than one guy is in this group. Right now, there is only one, which is me. But make sure that when you're working on a project or if you're a freelancer, you're not required because it will be taken care by other people. But make sure that this has more than one guy here, because in case if my account is compromised or if I forget my password, it is logged and it is very urgent that you need to do a build and a release, and there are some settings which the normal user, you have to add a normal user, but you're unable to add a normal user because you don't have project collection administrators access. So that's the reason, in case something happens to the primary account, which is here, which has been because this guy has created the project, it will be by default, it will be added to project collection administrators. It's better to have more than one. Usually they only restrict it to two, because don't add everyone here. It will make a mess of everything, because some might not be knowing what are the organization setting. They might be tweaking something without knowing you. Sometimes we just play around and just click save. We don't know what that save has done. Of course, if you're an expert, we can do something, and if you're an admin, you can make the changes and revert back the changes, etc. But just in case, don't add many people here, but make sure that minimum there are two people. In case one account gets compromised, you can work with the other, and later again you can just scale it up. Okay, so this is the very high level permission group, because it is at the organization level. That's why we call it as project collection administrators. If you come to, again, let's see, permissions, every other group is related to build or the other service accounts or the test accounts. You need not worry because they come by default. The only thing which you need to worry about is the project collection administrators account, because this is where everything is handled from. This is okay when you work on a project later, who has to do a test, run those automatic tests, or who has to do the builds, etc., can be added here, but this is the main thing. Okay, go to so now let's go to a project. Let's go to this project, and here in projects, go to project settings. In project settings, so don't get confused from what I've seen in the other just a few minutes back, which is the organization setting. This is project settings. So organization settings is one level the above, which is one level above in the hierarchy, and this is one level below it. It is under organization settings. You have different projects. Under project, you have this project settings. So we are in project settings. So this test demo, which a project which we have created as a private on a Git version control. You can do the settings here on permissions. Let's come to permissions. Okay, so these are the build administrators. This comes by default because you have to run builds and do everything. And the important permissions levels here, project administrators. So on this project, the test demo project, who are the administrators? And add only people. Don't add all the people here again, but make sure that there is more than one. Okay, in project administrators, he'll have access to everything, almost everything. Okay, the next important one is contributors. What he can do is he can add, modify, delete. That's what he can do. He can't do anything apart from that. Add, modify, delete is also restricted to some things. He can't be an administrator. He can't do all the things which an administrator does, the project administrator does. So even here, you can come here and add. And the other thing, usually what we do is so that just to show our code to someone else from the other team. If you want help from the other team to just see the settings, what you can do is go to the readers, which has only read permission on this private project. Add it. Okay. So this is how now you can configure your permissions on at the organization level and at the project level. And so let's come to this project. So how did we get here? What you can do is come to repos. So this is a very clean state project which I've done nothing, which I've added anything here. Okay, come to repos. Here it knows that nothing is there. It's a very clean project. It's an empty project. So Visual Studio already Visual Studio knows that it is a empty project. What it shows is that you can clone it to your computer with this way, all these things, or you can directly select it and clone it to Visual Studio. For before that, usually what people do is they usually add a ignore file. I hope you know what is a ignore file. Ignore file is something because when you build a solution, you should not build all the files. You should not check all the files. Some files like system files and object files will be skipping that because they are the build files. Because they are the binary files which the build solution need not look into. So one of the reason we use ignore files here. So let's say that I okay see which ignore file you do you want to put in your solution. You can go with Android, all these things. I'm using Visual Studio, so I'll select the Visual Studio here, and I'll add an ignore file. Initialize. Okay. So this is the first file in your project, which is the ignore file. Let's see what is in the ignore file. Opening the ignore file, see it is making sure that all these folders and all these files which are here will not be taken into build object bin files, and these files will not be included while doing a build. Of course, there are other uses of ignore files, but this is the basic thing why we would do that. Okay. So one of the reason how you can get the code uh, in your local desktop computer is you can see here clone, right? You can directly click on clone. When you click on clone, it will directly open in Visual Studio, and then after Visual Studio you can make it a local repository and then open it and do work with that particular with this project. It is when you click on clone, it is asking you how do you can even have a get authenticated with this online URL, HTTPS online URL. And or you can what you can do is this is a command line interface which you can create a repository and get connected to this project, or you can directly open it in IDE. It's if you are experienced, usually people do that because you can directly write PowerShell scripts with the help of this URLs, or you can directly come here with what do you want to open. If you are, as I said, Azure DevOps is not just for .NET people. It almost offers every kind of technology. You can do Java, you can do Python, anything here. So people who do Android, they'll be using Android Studio instead of Visual Studio Studio. And Java people would be using Eclipse, or for Python people they'll be doing the other one. All these things. So let's go with Visual Studio now. Click on Visual Studio. It'll ask, yeah. See, my another version of Visual Studio is getting opened. So this is how we have come here. So it is getting connected. It is asking for me to sign in. Okay, I'll be able to sign in and set up in my local, work on my local. Then the actual thing starts about learning of a Visual Studio. What I've shown is just a basic till now. I didn't sign in, that's why this is the error. When we do a full clean and neat project, we'll be doing the sign up. We'll get a project to our local desktop, work on it, push it to the Azure DevOps, build, release. All these things will be taken care by step. How do you merge one branch into other? What are the branching strategies available? Everything will be having a look in the later sessions. So as I said in the first, this is where you do it. You can do a push, you can do a change, everything. This is the core. These are the mostly from here. What you have is all the demos. Very less of theory. Even now, I have shown a demo, but it's more about the project settings, account level settings, permission settings, how Active Directory can be connected, how users, different type of users are there in MSA, AAD, guest users, all these things. It's just that uh, it's mostly a theoretical demo, but we'll do a coding demo and actually what actually you'll be doing in DevOps, because these are the initial settings which you have seen today are done by your team admins or settings guys. So next, what you will be able to see is the real things what the user or the what the DevOps technician would be doing in an organization. So those are the things will be coming later in the later courses. Any doubts you have till now? Let me know, because I know it's a bit overwhelming that I've been covering all these things. I've been covering in such a fashion that you don't get bored, because I know that all these user settings etc. doesn't really make you feel that you're learning DevOps. That's the reason. But these are important. You need to know where are the settings, where are the organization settings, what you do, etc., etc. All these things you have to know. I'm sure that doesn't it doesn't really give you the feel of a DevOps implementation, but these are the basic things which you need to know when you're, because again, my personal opinion is go to dev.azure.com, get yourself registered a free account there, and download Visual Studio Community, which is a free edition, and practice it. You'll be having a much better understanding, and you'll be at ease while learning DevOps, Azure DevOps especially. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, if you guys don't have anything, we can close the session for today. Thank you.
Correct. Good. Okay. Okay.
Any questions?